Are you preparing for remote learning? Or are you just screaming into your pillow on a regular basis? It's pretty scary for people to think about the transition from the kids going to the physical schoolhouse to doing school at home every day and virtually. Um, Yesterday, I spoke with a parent, and he said last year we just survived the remote learning, but now this year they have to learn. And a lot of us feel like that. We can't afford to lose a lot of ground for our kids, um, and yet we have to stay safe. Um, a lot of us, depending on your district, are having to stay home. And so there are a lot of different questions that raises. One is, how are you going to organize your virtual learning situation? So I'm going to go through a few options that people are currently doing based on my own field research, based on the conversations that I hear and engage in at the playground, in the parks, and the library, and shopping lines, pretty much everywhere. One of the popular models is if you have parents who both have to work, which most parents do. One option that people are looking into that seems to be gaining a lot of momentum is homeschool share. So what that looks like is students would collaborate between like different families or maybe a few different households or maybe even a neighborhood where they would come together and plan and decide on a schedule, decide on a setup. I know one neighborhood is doing it based on pods, so they would do like age grouping, so it maybe third and fourth together would travel as a pod. And so they're organizing their homes almost like classrooms and having decisions about how they're going to do lunch and who's going to take who outside at what different times, and the kids have the responsibility of physically moving between the homes, and so they've kind of vetted all the safety issues there. And if you are doing that, I think that's wonderful. That's a great way to kind of locate your village, find out where your resources are, work together. And then you have the curriculum there for you virtually. As long as you have the technology set up, you are in good shape to just facilitate that learning. There's one area of concern that I see as a former educator and with my teacher eyes would be getting on the same page as far as classroom management. So it's really important that you all sit down and have the kind of conversation that I reference in other videos about what was your school experience, how do you view school, what are your philosophies about authority, how do you think children best correct a mistake. You definitely want to be on the same page. If your child is coming home and had to write